Muskoka is a water sports paradise, and lucky for us, it's right in our backyard. It's where I and many others spend the majority of our short Ontario boating season trying to stretch out the few months of nice weather we have. If you live in a chillier boating climate like I do, it seems like every year at the end of the summer, you blink and it's over. You missed out on all the cool things you wanted to do. This year I got to spend a ton of time on boats, bringing you all kinds of great content for PowerBoat Television, but I didn't get to spend as much as I'd like behind the boat. So when I got a call from my buddy Andy, who runs the premier wake school in Muskoka, who said he had some toys that he wanted me to check out, you better believe I jumped at the opportunity. So here we are today on Lake Joe, and we're ready for a great day on the water.
Muskoka Wake is a full-service water sports instructional business based in Muskoka. We operate on Lake Muskoka, Lake of Bays, like Rosseau and Lake Joseph. We come right to your dock, and we do flyboarding, wakeboarding, wake surfing, and hydrofoiling. Muskoka Wake was founded in 2011, and we're wrapping up our 9th season on the water. We'll do between 1,400 and 1,600 hours of instruction, and that's between our 3 Malibus, our 2 Yamaha Wave Runner flyboard machines, and customers' boats as well.
Andy's a guy who's got it all figured out. Not only has he found a way to make a living here in Muskoka doing what a lot of us do for fun, but he's also found the elusive endless summer, spending our winter months teaching wakeboarding down in Turks and Caicos. If you think I've got it good here at PowerBoat TV, I've got nothing on Andy.
Owning and operating a water sports business is definitely a lifestyle choice. We're very fortunate to be able to do it in a place like Muskoka and meet a lot of people from all over the world that come here to experience this little slice of paradise.
Before he pulls out and heads south for the winter, he's invited me up for one last day on the water. The plan is to start at the top of Lake Joe at their Gordon Bay location and surf all the way down to Port Sandfield at the south end of the lake. Then we'll cruise into Rosseau, up to the Joseph River, and finish the loop back up at Gordon Bay. Muskoka is the ultimate water sports destination, and Muskoka Wake knows how to do it right. Nobody else is as equipped to do as many things behind the boat in one day as possible, so that's what we're gonna do. And I've even brought a secret toy for Andy and I to play with at the end of the day. For now, we're loading up and heading out to one of the most beautiful spots in the whole region.
What's special about Lake Joseph is the tall cliffs, the untouched shoreline because cottages are so spread out here, as well as being able to find calm water almost everywhere you go because of how the islands run down the lake.
But we didn't come here to look at the scenery. So after deciding the old-fashioned way that I would go first, I hopped in and away we went. I grew up behind a boat, spending just about every second of the summer I could on a slalom ski. But these days, wake surfing is my favorite. It's low impact, social, and above all, fun.
Wake surfing is definitely taking the lakes by storm. It's by far our most requested service that we offer, and it's something that everybody in the family can do, from young kids to the older parents. It's mellow on the body, you go at slow speeds, so whether you don't have any water sports experience at all, or you have a water ski background, it's definitely something that you want to try.
And if you don't have the right boat, Muskoka Wake is a great place to start. They've got a fleet of brand new Malibus packed with technology to manufacture the perfect wave, like this Wakesetter 23 LSV we're in today.
So the Malibu lineup has proprietary technology like the Malibu Surfgate and the Malibu Power Wedge. And those two technologies really allow for the wave to not only generate the size it does, but also to be manipulated into different shapes, lengths, heights, and whatnot. So the Power Wedge is operated by a hydraulic piston, and it deploys the wedge down from the transom of the boat into the water. Is positioned between 1 and 6 different positions, and through those positions, it allows the boat to have an equivalent of 1,500 pounds of ballast added to the stern of the boat, and that's what really is the difference between Malibu and that you'll notice in the size of the wave, because you don't need to have that capacity inside the boat for the hard tanks to fill up with water and able to get that extra poundage at the back of the boat.
Although the boat does have 4,240 pounds of built-in ballast, so that extra 1,500 from the wedge more than doubles its dry weight of 5,100 pounds to push an incredible amount of water up the wave. But what about shape? That's where the Malibu Surfgate comes in.
Surfgate allows you to deploy a paddle on one side or the other, and that shapes the wave on the opposite side of the boat. So when a rider, like when Jake is out there left foot forward surfing on the left side of the boat, the right paddle or the right Surfgate deploys, and that's what creates the wave off the other side of the boat.
So gone are the days where you had to put all your friends or your fat uncles in one corner of the boat just to weight it down on that one side.
Yeah, there's no more shifting people around the boat. You just hop in the boat, everybody gets comfy in their position. The boat rides flat and even through the water, even having a wave on one side or the other. The great thing about a business like ours is we get a lot of people in the boat throughout the day. Some people are right foot forward and surf on the right side. Some people are left foot forward on the left side. And because of that, it's just a push of a button and you can change on the fly, as you saw Jake do, utilizing the Malibu surf band.
The surf band is another piece of awesome tech that uses Bluetooth to allow a rider like Jake here to control the shape of the wave, the side they want to surf on, and even adjust the speed of the boat and change the music, all from back behind it. Do you even need a driver with this thing?
At this point, I mean, Malibu has made it so simple that anybody that can drive a boat in a straight line is able to take somebody wake surfing.
With all that in mind, how about a quick public service announcement? With all the technology built into these surf boats, it's obvious that the goal is to produce as big a wave as possible. But with that in mind, let's think about who we're sending that wave towards. Make sure that when you're wake surfing, you're always out as far as you can in the middle of the lake, away from inhabited shorelines, away from people's docks and boats, so that everybody can enjoy the lake and wake surfing can thrive and survive. Coming up later in the show, we continue our trip around Muskoka and break out a few other toys. With so much going on in Muskoka, there are plenty of great places to boat up and grab a bite to eat. But today, we've got no time to waste, so it'll be a drive-through lunch on the water for us. After spending the morning surfing our way down Lake Joe, we cruised into Lake Rosseau through Port Sandfield, where Andy brought out our next toy. Apparently, he thought I'd reached my limit on the surfboard, so he upped the difficulty by a fair bit.
This is called the wake foil, and it's one of our newest segments of business that we're offering instruction on this year. It's a hydrofoil on a wake surfboard that you ride behind the boat just as you would wake surfing. The wing is shaped that it creates lift and naturally wants to rise out of the water. So you're actually riding the foil, which is under the water, on a 36-inch mast instead of riding the board on top of the water. It's the opposite of wake surfing in the sense that normally on a wake surf, you want to put weight on your front foot to accelerate towards the boat. On this, you actually want to put weight on your back foot to allow the wing to rise in the water, and that's what's going to allow the board to accelerate.
Oh man, you think I can handle it?
There's only one way to find out. Let's get up there.
I was afraid he would say that.
Looking left.
With some top-notch coaching, I managed to get up on the wake foil, and it is much different than riding a normal wake surf. The foil seems to have a mind of its own. But after a couple close falls, I felt like I was really starting to figure out how this thing works.
There, that's where you want to be.
I thought I was doing pretty well. And then Andy got in and showed me how it's really supposed to look. I guess that's why he makes the big bucks. We've been on top of the water. We've seen this foil underneath the water.
Right.
How would you feel about getting more of a feel for the foil's perspective under the water?
Let's do it. What do you got in mind?
So we packed up and headed for the Joe River, a rock cut that connects Rosseau to Joe, taking the scenic route, a beautiful slow cruise in the Wakesetter 23 LSV to get us back to the cliffs of Lake Joe. And a quick pit stop for Mitch and Jake, the Muskoka Wake boys. After that, it was time to show Andy what I brought for us to try out. All right, Andy, so we've seen what you can do on top of the water. What do you say we see what you can do underneath it?
What do you mean?
This is a subwing. You ever seen one of these?
Yeah, I've seen these online, but I've yet to see one of these up here. I'd be super interested to try it out.
Well, our friends at Subwing sent us this for exactly that purpose. They wanted us to test it out, and I could not think of a better opportunity to do so than up here with you. What do you say?
Let's do it. Why don't you get out there and try it out, and I'll follow suit.
All right, you can one-up me after that? Sounds good. I'll guinea pig.
Let's do it.
The Subwing is a board with 2 separate wings that tilt independently, letting you dip, dive, and steer through the water like a dolphin. I've been pumped to try this thing out ever since I first saw it, and it did not disappoint. Even though our water isn't quite Caribbean blue, we had a blast cruising around between 2 and 5 miles per hour. This is a wicked toy you could use behind pretty well any boat, and it's easy on the gas gauge too. Not much of a spectator sport, though. But beneath the surface, the Subwing gets my seal of approval. After flying around under the water, there was only one thing left I had to try: flying above it. All right, Andy, we've done the surfing, we've done the foil board, we've done the Subwing. There's one thing I've been wanting to try for a long time, and you guys got it.
Yeah, so we've been doing flyboarding, Drew, for about the last 4 seasons, and it's become a really big part of our business.
Flyboarding has been around for a while, but it's not something most people have just lying around in their boathouse. So unless you've been on vacation down south or have a friend like Andy, you may not have had the chance to try it.
We have our Yamaha Wave Runner set up here. We have our flyboard, our hose, our U-pipe, and we're ready to get you flying.
So how does this all work?
Our U-pipe is going to connect to the back of the Wave Runner that we have retrofitted every year. When the wave water pumps the water in with the impeller and pushes out the back, it sends the water through the hose and out under the boots, and that's what levitates you up above the water.
Is this easy? Because it looks tough. Like you see this, it's like the Iron Man suit. Is this something that anybody can do?
It's really basic. I mean, the big thing is that if you can stand in an athletic position, you can flyboard. It's a less is more sport, so the less you do, the more you get out of it.
All right, I'm good at doing less, so I can do that, I think.
All right.
Let me at it.
Let's do this.
I have to say it's a little tougher than Andy made it out to be. But again, with the right coaching, before long I was flying around like Iron Man. With a couple hiccups, of course. Thank goodness for helmets. And thanks to Andy and Muskoka Wake for having me out for a perfect day to cap off my boating season. It's not every day you can try 3 brand new things behind the boat. It never ceases to amaze me how much fun you can have on the water.